Everyone, and welcome to this special episode for National Hemp Month. That's right, July is National Hemp Month, a whole month dedicated to celebrating one of the most useful and versatile plants on this planet. And today we are so honored to have Dr. Seng Park, senior scientist and researcher at the Institute of Cannabis Research at Colorado State University-Pueblo. Dr. Park is also on the advisory board chair of the Hemp Farmers Association at the Institute of Cannabis Research. Hi, Dr. Park. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and would you mind sharing with us for the mission of both the Institute of the Cannabis Research at CSU Pueblo as well as the Hemp Farmers Association?
Yes, of course. The ICR has been founded in 2016, and our mission is to generate new knowledge and understanding of cannabis and its derivatives like a cannabinoid, and also disseminating the discovery to the community. That's our major missions. And as a state funding agency, ICR has been supporting a variety of the cannabis research. And for 3 years, we got $1.8 million from the state of Colorado, and we supported the CSU Pueblo faculty. However, in this year, with discussions with the governing board of ICR, we are hoping to receive more funds from the state of Colorado. We try to extend the support to the statewide. And also, the ICR Hemp Farmers Association was founded August 2019. It's been only 1 year.
Oh.
It was very successful. Our mission was to support and help local farmers as well as the national farmers and some industrial representatives who require some practical questions on the hemp extraction, hemp cultivations. There are a lot of farmers who just started hemp agriculture, who has a lot of the question on the weed and pest insect managements and how they irrigate their hemp plant when it's the harvesting time and strategy and so on and so forth. So we had a meeting every other month since August 2019. Now we have about 25 members from locally, from nationally. So we just sit down together through the Zoom meeting. We just discussed and share all the updates and all the new kind of knowledge that we learned from the experiences. And yes.
Yeah, wow. So every other month you meet, is this something that anybody could see the minutes of or maybe join or?
Yes. We uploaded, we share the meeting information in the ICR website. If you go to ICR homepage, there will be a ICR Hemp Farmers Association page, and we just kind of listed all the meeting date, and we also updated with the minutes. So if you miss it, you can come and see the minutes so you can see what we've discussed and what our plans are. And there's no as long as you are interested in this meeting, you just drop me an email so I can share where we meet, what we are going to discuss. So there's no membership fee, and we are here to help you if you have any question about hemp cultivation.
That's great. We'll be sure to put a link to that website in our description for this so people can know where to find you. So with the Hemp Farmers Association, it's still fairly new. Why is there this focus on hemp? How is hemp different, or is it different from marijuana?
Yeah, actually hemp is not a new plant at all. It's been used for humans more than 10,000 years. So the first era, the people used the hemp as a kind of, the people has been used the hemp for the fiber productions, making for the rope and the clothing. So mostly they focus on their fiber. But lately, now if you go to the downtown and if you drive down, you will see a lot of sign, CBD sale. And the price is now not really expensive. Even a year ago, 2 years ago, the price was like more than $100, but now it's like $50 to $70. You can buy a bottle of the CBD tincture. So now it's popular because there are therapeutic functions and potentials. I think CBD is the most well-known the cannabinoid of the hemp. Actually, the hemp plant produces more than 120 different cannabinoids. CBD, THC, CBG, THCV, CBC, CBG. So there are more than 100 different cannabinoids. But again, CBD is the most well-known cannabinoid, which has a great therapeutic potential. Maybe you heard about the girl's story, the Charlotte Figi. Unfortunately, she just passed away just a couple of months ago. But she's the girl born with epileptic seizure. She had a grand mal seizure more than a couple of hundred times a month. So every couple of hours she has a seizure, but only a few drops of CBD and actually reduce the frequency of the epileptic seizure, which is great. And for the first time, the girl was able to stare at mom's kind of eye and was able to speak to her. So it was amazing, the drug. Even any patients who has a Parkinson's disease has a lot of tremor all the time. Again, few milliliters of the CBD tincture can make all the tremor go away. It's amazing. That's why lately a lot of people put their interest in the hemp business and this plant, especially their cannabinoid, the secondary metabolite. And you asked me a question about how is it different from marijuana. Actually, hemp and marijuana are the same species and same genus, but they are just different varieties. But if I have to explain, the major difference will be their chemical composition. THC has high level of THC. In the United States, it is defined that any cannabis has more than 0.3% THC in their dry weight basis is categorized as marijuana. But hemp, in contrast, they have a less than 0.3%. Again, they are the same cannabis plant, but depending on their THC concentration, they've been defined, they've been classified marijuana and hemp. But morphologically, in general, and marijuana plants is shorter and bushier, meaning they have more flowers, because flower is the area where most cannabinoid and terpenes are produced. So it's been crossbreed to have more flowers. So as a result, they are shorter and they have a more bushier. That way they can produce higher level of THC. But hemp is they've been bred for the fiber productions. So to produce more fiber, so they've been crossbred to have the longer height. So they are in general, hemp are more taller and skinnier than their marijuana counterpart. So that is the two different major differences between hemp and marijuana plant.
Yeah, so it comes down to the compound itself, but then also viewing the plant, looking at the plant and how it looks. So speaking to that 0.3% in classifying hemp as having less than 0.3% THC, that speaks to that Agricultural Improvement Act of 2018, or better known as the Farm Bill, which excluded hemp from the Controlled Substances Act. So what is the significance of this, and what does that mean for CBD products and hemp moving forward?
Yeah, before 2018 Farm Bill, there are a lot of regulations. And even hemp, everyone knows that has very low THC production, but federally it's been prohibited. So anyone who is interested in hemp and the business, they weren't able to grow and do the R&D using the hemp. But now I'm here. I'm a senior scientist with ICR. I just joined 3 years ago. Before 3 years ago, I wasn't even able to access the plant materials. But after this Farm Bill, now I can do my own research. If you are very interested in growing hemp or manufacturing the cannabinoid from your farm, now technically you, as long as you have a license, the state and federal license, and also you are complying with your older regulation, actually you can do anything what you want. So you can grow, you can do any R&D out of these hemp materials. Yeah, so there will be a significant after with the farm bill. And as a scientist, personally, I'm very interested in developing a new variety that produce more CBD. Yeah, for the record, I gotta say that our ICR has we don't have a Schedule 1 license, so meaning that we are not able to work on marijuana. So we are only allowed to work on hemp materials. We registered at the Colorado Department of Agriculture, so we are allowed to work on hemp materials. So again, one of my research interests after this farm bill is to develop the new elite variety, which has kind of higher CBD productions, maybe another variety that has a disease resistance against any pest or microbial pathogen. So everything is possible because of this hemp 2018 hemp farm bill.
That's great. Thank you for explaining that. So with it being passed, hemp has a lot of power and it can arguably be considered a superior natural resource. So what are the many things or some of the many things it is capable of?
Yes, the hemp, again, it's been used for, it's been a good kind of resource for the fiber, textile, paper, rope, clothing, even their fiber, and what's their kind of the herd. So there's a stock, the outside, we call it fiber, best fiber, which can be used for, again, the textile company. But inside there's a woody tissues, more hard. So it can be used for the paper productions or animal feeding, animal bedding. That woody tissues has a lot of cellulose. I mean, can be used as biofuel productions. There are a lot of cellulose, sugar inside, can be easily converted into the biofuel, like biodiesel and bioethanol. So there are a lot of potentials. That's why this hemp is considered as a superior kind of natural resource. But again, in addition to those agronomic values, now the public more focus on their secondary metabolite, cannabinoid. Again, more than 100 cannabinoid, whose component has all different therapeutic functions. No one knows yet. We don't even know how it works in our body system. Mm-hmm. But again, there are great potential. Even one CBD, one chemical compound, the CBD has more than 20 or 30 different therapeutic functions. It is good for your depression, bipolar, schizophrenia, anyone who's been suffering from PTSD, or anyone has arthritis, someone who cannot even drive because of the pain in their fingers. Mm-hmm. Any ladies who has a fibromyalgia. Anecdotally, it's been reported that the CBD showing great effect, kind of pain relief, the effect. So it can be a really good drug to kind of help the people who is suffering from a variety of the human diseases. Mm-hmm. So I just talked about only one cannabinoid CBD, but again, there are like more than 100 different cannabinoid. So so it has a great potential for the humans. Yes. So I totally agree with you that, again, CBD is a great natural resource and a lot of research has to be there to understand their productions and their mechanisms in human body system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and speaking to building up CBD or breeding up CBD for high concentrated CBD strains, what about those other cannabinoids? Is it possible, do you think it's possible to breed up all of them so a single strain can have several test high for different cannabinoids, CBD, CBG, and THC, any of the others altogether?
Theoretically, everything is possible through the traditional the breeding program, but it will take a couple of 100 years. If you are intending to put like 100 different cannabinoid in a one single plant. If you want to produce all of them very high level, it will take a couple of 100 years. So it's impossible, honestly. Theoretically possible, but it will take a lot of time. But if you are interested in only one or two major cannabinoid, let's say CBD and CBG, if you want to produce more than 20% of CBD and THC individually, I think it's possible. If you have two varieties, each variety produce high level of CBD and high level of CBG. If you crossbreed and doing the crossbreeding, multiple generation, I think it's possible. Even though it takes some time, but again, putting if you want to produce some of cannabinoid in the single plant, everything is possible. The relatively easy method will be genetic engineering. So if you clone the gene for the CBD and CBG production from those two parental plant, put into the one plant, theoretically, yes, we can genetically modify their information and we can produce in high level in a single plant. But again, I prefer to the traditional, the breeding program, not through the genetic engineering, because public will kind of worry about the hemp GMO. So I prefer traditional, the hemp breeding program.
That definitely makes sense. And then, so once these plants are breeded and then they're tested, testing is expensive and research is expensive. Do you think that there are cheaper, more efficient ways to prove the safety and the efficacy of these plants that are breeded or what is out there, and that the FDA could rely on, so that way they're able to use more botanical substances in American medicine somewhere down the road?
Yeah, I think to prove the efficacy and the safety of cannabinoid that produced from the hemp, I think the best method and the gold standard will be the RCT, like a randomized controlled the trial. Because that way we can control all the variations during the experiments, and that way we can, the result is not going to be biased because everything is randomly assigned, or the participant doesn't know what they are taking it with the placebo and the treatments. So the result will be more reliable and more accurately analyzed comparing to other kind of, let's say, cohort study, case study. I mean, those are the good way of getting some insight about the efficacy and the safety of the CBD, but this research will be a little bit biased because all the variation is not well controlled. So I think, I know it's a bit expensive to get the answer, but if we want to know about the efficacy and all the side effects possibly caused by the CBD or any other cannabinoid, I think the RCT, the randomized controlled, the trial would be the best way to know about the cannabinoid in human body system.
That makes sense. So to speak to your research that you've been involved in as it relates to cannabis biology and cannabinoid therapy, what are some of the most interesting discoveries that you have made yourself?
Okay, like last 3 years, I've been working on this cannabis research using insect model. So as a plant biologist, my first question when I joined the ICR research team was, why the hemp plant produce the cannabinoid? What is their benefit? And what will be the evolutionary benefit they may have? Again, the hemp or marijuana, they don't produce all the cannabinoid for human use, right? They gotta be their own benefit. So that was my question. My hypothesis was that maybe this plant produce to protect themselves or for their survival. So simply what I found out was they produce CBD for their survival because they always surrounded by microbial pathogen and all the pest insect. Any insect crawl their leaves and chew up all the leaves, they won't be able to survive. They can't do any photosynthesis. So, but one of my experiments clearly showed that any hemp variety produce high level of CBD actually repel the insect approach. So it's been working as a feeding deterrent. So I don't know how they they scare away the insect, but the insect they don't want to eat the hemp leaves that produce high CBD. So it looks like CBD has been a part of their defense mechanism. It's been used to repel and scare away all the insect. I think that's one of their evolutionary strategy why they produce high level of CBD. I haven't done any marijuana and the high THC, but again, CBD has been kind of proven that, as their plant defense mechanisms. But interestingly, what I found was what I found out was the high level CBD has been very lethal to the insect. But another experiment I did was in the insect food I added the ethanol, high level ethanol. So that, so within 3 days, like everything just died within 3 days with the ethanol. I think ethanol has been very kind of toxic chemical for the insect. Maybe 1% is too high. But what happened? But I added the high dose of CBD to the diet with 1% ethanol in the diet. What happened was 40% insect survived. So this is something I didn't expect. Again, high dose CBD killed the insect. Without ethanol, they just die. But once some stress introduced the media, like high level of ethanol and same amount of the CBD, which killed the insect previously, once there's a ethanol stress in the media, thanks to the, I think, CBD, 40% insects were able to survive. So this is what I found out. So those research were published in the Nature scientific report, I think a year ago. And everything's, if you want to see all the detail, I think you can go find out the full article. Or you can just drop me an email or call me to my office so I can further discuss about the research direction. There are a lot of implications. Again, CBD use for the plant, and also maybe CBD can be used for the hangover kind of drink. Or if you go out for a drink tonight, maybe one CBD pill can help you to reduce any migraine or headaches from your hangover. Or this CBD can be used for the maybe a drug for the alcoholism or alcohol addiction. I think there are got a lot of application after this research.
Yes, so is that where your research is headed now? Is that where you're currently?
Yes, I want to more understand how CBD actually control the insect growth and development. I've tried to understand the mechanism at the molecular level. So I did a lot of transcriptomic analysis to see how CBD change their gene expressions. So we got about like 26,000 genes, the profiles, and we see a lot of genes being changed after CBD administrations. I found a very interesting result, and I'm about to present those data in a ICR conference, and as well as any other hemp-related cannabis conferences as well.
Wow, that's so interesting and can just open so much moving forward about toxicity and how it can affect us all, you know, if we have some CBD to help counterbalance that. So that's great. So thank you for being a pioneer in the research of cannabis on behalf of a lot of us, because I know that there's a lot of us who benefit. So a lot of our clients at Realm of Caring have an opportunity to be a part of research, and a lot of them want to be a part of research. They want to be a part of this movement. So why do you feel it's important for more people to get involved in the research of cannabinoids and cannabinoid therapies?
Yeah, as I explained last 20 minutes, like cannabis and their cannabinoids has great potentials for humans. But unfortunately, little is known about their productions and their mechanisms, in the human body system. So we need to do more research to better understand about the plant, their genetic regulations, or their genomics. How how come this plant produce this cannabinoid, and how they regulate all the productions, and how they work in our body system. So we don't know much about it. Definitely, we need to put more effort to understand this plant and all the system, and that way we can find out maybe better, more benefits of this plant, and maybe new ways of using the cannabinoids. That's why we need more research, and
Yes.
more people should be involved in the cannabis research.
Well, good. Thank you. And I hope that everybody watching wants to get more involved. And if you would like to, we do have research going on at Realm of Caring, or you can always, I'm sure, contact ICR, Dr. Park, just to get more information. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today. It's a great service to our clients and our community. So thank you, Dr. Park, for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Okay. And bye, everyone. Be well, and we'll see you next time.